The Colorado Front Range sold a dream. Mountains behind you. Sunshine above you. A booming economy ahead of you. From Fort Collins in the north to Pueblo in the south, the corridor stretching along the eastern edge of the Rockies was one of America's most compelling real estate stories for a decade. People came from California, from Texas, from the Midwest convinced that Colorado represented the last great affordable escape. That story is over, and the buyers have noticed. Here is what the Colorado Association of Realtors said in their official January 2026 market recap, the most authoritative annual summary of the entire state's housing market. Median prices in both Denver Metro and Colorado Springs fell 5.2% in 2025. Active listings rose 6.4%. Sales saw only modest gains. The year produced a slow, unpredictable market marked by longer days on market and more withdrawn listings. Short sales returned. Agents started learning what in Rio foreclosure was something the industry hadn't encountered in more than 7 years. And CAR spokesperson Kelly Moy stated it in terms that every homeowner on the Front Range needs to hear. Quote, "I think the entire Front Range is experiencing this scenario. We have more houses on the market than we do buyers. More houses than buyers. On the entire Front Range. That is not a market correction. That is a structural shift in who is willing and who is able to buy a home in Colorado right now." Today, Discover the States reveals the Front Range cities where that shift is most visible, city by city, number by number. City number 1, Pueblo, where the buyers already left. Pueblo was supposed to be the Front Range's safety valve. When Denver priced out working families, when Colorado Springs stretched budgets to breaking, Pueblo was there, affordable, accessible, positioned just far enough south to still feel connected to Colorado's economic momentum. The buyers that logic promised have not arrived, and the ones who were there are leaving. According to Denver's September 2025 analysis, Pueblo home prices fell nearly 7% year-over-year, the sharpest documented decline of any Front Range city. It has taken an average of nearly 90 days to sell a home in Pueblo in 2025. And Patrick Muldoon, owner of Muldoon Associates and one of the most experienced brokers in El Paso and Pueblo counties, stated it directly in a typical Pueblo subdivision. It is not uncommon to see half of the homes on the market carrying active price reductions. Half. The Colorado Association of Realtors November 2025 market report confirmed every number. Pueblo's median single-family price dropped 18% to $266,000. Average days on market reached 104, a 6.3% increase year-over-year. Months supply hit 6.5 firmly in buyer's market territory. Pending sales fell 20% month-over-month, and new multifamily building permits in Pueblo West came in at just 33 in April 2025, down 17% year-to-date. According to RiskWire's 2025 Colorado housing analysis, rural markets including Pueblo have faced stagnation at just 1% year-over-year appreciation, with investor purchases down 12% since mid-2024. Pueblo's buyers did not disappear because of local failure. They disappeared because the equation stopped working. Colorado's cost of living has risen to the point where even its most affordable cities no longer deliver the value proposition that once justified the move. The buyers who would have stretched to reach Pueblo are sitting on the sidelines in Denver or have left Colorado entirely. And the homes they left behind are sitting week after week waiting for someone who is not coming. City number 2, Colorado Springs foreclosures return after 7 years. Colorado Springs was the Front Range's most resilient market story. Military employment, diverse economy, scenic positioning at the foot of Pikes Peak. A city that weathered downturns better than its neighbors and attracted the kind of stable, long-term residents that sustain housing markets. In 2025, that resilience is showing its limits. According to the Colorado Association of Realtors' official January 2026 annual recap, Colorado Springs median prices fell 5.2% in 2025. Listings rose 6.4%. Sales barely increased. The market produced longer days on market and rising withdrawals. And most significantly, short sales returned to the Colorado Springs market. Real estate agents started relearning what in Rio foreclosure was, something the local market hadn't encountered in more than 7 years. According to El Paso County foreclosure data reported through October 2025, 787 foreclosures had been recorded, putting the county on pace for roughly 940 to 950 by year's end. That represents approximately 50% more than the prior year. a 50% year-over-year increase in foreclosure filings. In a city described by its own real estate community as the market that was supposed to hold. According to the Colorado Biz January 2026 housing report, Colorado Springs sales were down 10.8% and foreclosure starts were rising. The Colorado Springs Gazette's February 2026 analysis described a market shaped by economic uncertainty, relatively high interest rates, skyrocketing insurance rates, and overall cautious consumer sentiment, a cooling-off period that began in 2023 and shows no sign of reversing. Patrick Muldoon said it plainly to Denver in September 2025. They are on the sidelines. Affordability is extraordinarily hard in El Paso County right now. Potential buyers are no longer traveling as far south to look for deals. The buyers who once drove south from Denver seeking Colorado Springs affordability are no longer making that trip. They are waiting. And while they wait, foreclosure filings climb 50% in a single year. City number 3 Greeley and Weld County, the foreclosure surge nobody is talking about. Greeley sits in Weld County, northeastern Colorado's agricultural and energy corridor. It built its housing market on affordability relative to the Denver-Boulder axis, on steady employment in agriculture, energy, and the University of Northern Colorado, and on the assumption that its lower price point would always attract buyers priced out of more expensive Front Range markets. What is happening in Weld County right now is one of the Front Range's most underreported housing stories. According to BizWest's August 2025 editorial analysis, Weld County recorded 253 foreclosure filings in the first half of 2025 alone, up 47% from the same period the prior year, the largest percentage increase of any northern Colorado county in the BizWest analysis. Boulder County filings increased 20%. Larimer and Broomfield counties saw smaller but still noticeable increases. And statewide, according to Adams' foreclosure market report cited by BizWest, Colorado foreclosures increased 41% year-over-year, placing Colorado 5th in the nation for year-over-year foreclosure growth. Brian Lewandowski, executive director of the Business Research Division at the University of Colorado Leeds School of Business, responded to the Weld County data directly. "I think it's something certainly to watch. A 47% surge in a single year. From a respected University of Colorado economist, something to watch. That combination of hard data and expert concern is the signal that buyers and homeowners in Greeley need to take seriously." According to RiskWire's 2025 Colorado housing analysis, Greeley is specifically projected by Norada Real Estate to see a 1% home value decline, one of the only Colorado markets to receive an explicit decline projection in the forecast. And investor purchases in markets like Greeley are down 12% since mid-2024. The investors, who were supposed to provide floor support beneath the market, are retreating. City number 4 Boulder and Broomfield. When luxury loses its buyers, Boulder has always operated by different rules. The Flatirons, the university, the outdoor culture, the kind of lifestyle premium that commands prices far above what local incomes alone could justify. Buyers accepted that premium because they believed in what Boulder represented permanently. That belief is being tested. According to the Colorado Association of Realtors' October 2025 market report, new listings in Boulder County are up 9.5% year-to-date, while condos are taking an average of 71 days to sell. In Broomfield, condo sales fell 30%, the figure that CAR spokesperson Kelly Moy cited when she described the dramatic price reduction from $800,000 to $750,000 on a single Broomfield listing as evidence of what sellers across the Front Range are facing. According to the CAR's May 2025 report, Moy described the state of the market directly. With listings up 30% across all properties and the median price remaining unchanged, many sellers are finding a lack of buyer demand. And this is a trend in other areas across the state and the country. The January 2026 CAR annual recap confirmed the trajectory for Boulder and Broomfield. Kelly Moy stated that rising carrying costs are significantly affecting affordability, leading to softer demand and longer sales cycles for condos than for single-family homes. And Colorado Biz's 2026 housing report described Boulder's projected home value decline at 1.2%, the steepest of any major Colorado metro in the Norada real estate forecast. According to the Bell Policy Center's 2025 Colorado Housing Primer, Boulder carries the highest home price to area median income ratio in the state, surpassing the national ratio every single year since 2021. The buyers who can afford Boulder are getting thinner. And when the buyer pool for a premium market thins, the correction when it comes is measured not just in price, but in the city's fundamental identity. City number 5, Fort Collins, the bright spot with cracks. Fort Collins is, by the data, the Front Range's relative bright spot in 2025 and heading into 2026. According to Colorado Biz's January 2026 housing report, Fort Collins posted a 1.8% increase in closings year over year, making it a rare positive outlier in a Front Range landscape of declining sales volumes. Carr called it a rare bright spot, citing improved affordability from stabilizing mortgage rates. But bright spot is a relative term, and relative to the broader Front Range collapse, a 1.8% gain in closings is not immunity. It is a slower version of the same disease. According to the Colorado Association of Realtors, November 2025 market report, Fort Collins homes are averaging 60 days on market, up significantly from prior years, and well above the frantic pace of 2021 and 2022. Overall inventory remains elevated, averaging 16% higher than the prior year. And according to BizWest August 2025 analysis, Larimer County, home to Fort Collins, saw foreclosure filings increase in the first half of 2025. A smaller increase than Weld County's 47% surge, but an increase nonetheless. Fort Collins realtor Chris Hardy told the Colorado Association of Realtors in May 2025 what the market feels like from the ground. Compared to the heyday of post-pandemic purchase pandemonium, buyers now have the luxury to look at multiple houses for sale in just about any price range. They also have more time to make a decision, since more homes are available, and only buyers with the stoutest of hearts and pocketbooks are actively buying. Only buyers with the stoutest of hearts and pocketbooks. That is the Fort Collins market in 2026. The buyers who remain are decisive and prepared. The rest have gone to the sidelines or left Colorado entirely. The Fort Collins story is not crisis, but it is not health either. It is a market operating at reduced speed, with a buyer pool that has been narrowed by affordability, by uncertainty, and by the simple reality that Colorado no longer offers the value proposition it once did to the median household trying to enter the market. City number 6, Aurora, where the entry-level buyer has vanished. Aurora is Denver's largest suburb, and historically its most accessible entry point for first-time buyers and working families seeking a foothold in the Denver metro area. Lower price points, more inventory, the promise that the Denver dream was achievable here, even when it wasn't achievable in the city itself. That promise is breaking in ways the data documents with precision. According to the Colorado Association of Realtors January 2026 annual recap, Aurora realtor Sonny Banca described 2025 plainly. We have more supply and less urgency than in past years, and that has brought negotiation back into the process. But negotiation returning is a polite way of describing something more alarming. According to the Carr November 2025 market report, Aurora's median price dropped from a March 2025 peak of $550,000 to $519,000, a $31,000 decline in a single year. In South Aurora's 8015 zip code, prices fell from $590,000 in September 2025 to $545,000, a $45,000 drop in months. Sellers absorbed average declines of roughly $50,000 plus concessions, averaging $8,000 for closing costs or rate buydowns. The Carr November 2025 report described Aurora's market with a single word: sluggish. And a Colorado Springs realtor, a 30-year veteran, told the Carr in their May 2025 report something that applies equally to Aurora. As a veteran agent of 30 years, I can honestly say, I have never seen a housing market like this. We continue to be able to sell the upper-end homes, and yet the entry-level homes are sitting and often withdrawing from the market. The notice of election and demand list locally is beginning to increase dramatically. Entry-level homes sitting and withdrawing. The NED list, the precursor to foreclosure, increasing dramatically. In a market that was built to serve entry-level buyers, when a suburb designed to be accessible becomes inaccessible to the buyers it was built to serve, the market does not just slow. It loses the foundation that made it function. City number 7, the entire Front Range, the buyer who gave up. Our final city is not a city. It is a condition. A pattern that runs from Pueblo to Fort Collins, connecting every market we have discussed today, and describing the single force that is reshaping the entire Front Range housing landscape. The buyer who gave up. The Colorado Association of Realtors January 2026 annual recap described it with a clarity that every Colorado homeowner should read. Quote, "Sellers knew the housing market shifted this year, but many thought that it didn't affect their home, just the other sellers' properties. Buyers were waiting for further price drops or rate drops, and then gave up. Buyers gave up. Across the Front Range. The mechanism is not complicated. Buyers enter the market expecting that if they wait long enough, rates will fall or prices will adjust to meet them. When neither falls fast enough, when sellers hold prices, hoping for a return of 2022 conditions that is not coming, while buyers refuse to stretch to prices their incomes cannot support, the transaction freezes. One home sells fast. Another gets no showings for weeks and withdraws from the market. According to HousingWire's November 2025 analysis, 53.7% of active Denver metro listings carried price reductions. Homes took a median of 70 days to sell, up 25% year over year, and weekly absorption was slipping even as inventory rose. According to the Bell Policy Center's 2025 Colorado Housing Primer, Colorado's home price to area median income ratio has surpassed the national ratio every single year since 2021. The cost of living throughout Colorado is, as the Colorado Springs Gazette's February 2026 analysis stated, starting to eat into household budgets in ways that residents can no longer absorb. Quote, "This is no longer something they can absorb. It's real spending power they're losing. Real spending power being lost across the entire Front Range by residents who stretch to afford Colorado and are now discovering the stretch has gone too far." Kelly Moy, the Colorado Association of Realtors spokesperson who covers markets from Boulder to Broomfield, summarized the Front Range market in September 2025 with a sentence that should be the headline of every Colorado housing story being written right now. "We have more houses on the market than we do buyers." Let's be honest, as we always are on this channel. Colorado is not collapsing. The Rockies are still there. The lifestyle is still real. The job market in Denver and Fort Collins still functions. CAR does not forecast a crash. The mountains are not moving. Colorado will continue to attract residents who want what it offers, but the data of 2025 and heading into 2026 tells a story that the Front Range's housing narrative has been slow to confront. Pueblo prices down 7% year over year with 90-day average selling times in half of all subdivisions, carrying active price reductions. Colorado Springs sales down 10.8%, median prices down 5.2%, foreclosure filings up 50% in a single year. Weld County foreclosures up 47%, Colorado 5th in the nation for year-over-year foreclosure growth. Boulder condo days on market at 71 days, projected price decline 1.2%. Broomfield condo sales down 30%. Aurora median prices down $31,000 from spring peak. Denver metro median prices down 5.2% with 53.7% of listings carrying price reductions and homes sitting 70 days on average. And behind every number, the buyer who gave up. Who decided Colorado's prices, Colorado's insurance costs, Colorado's carrying costs, and Colorado's mortgage rates at 6.8% to 6.9% had finally outpaced what they were willing or able to pay. The Front Range built its housing market on the belief that its lifestyle premium was limitless, that people would always pay more to live beneath the Rockies. The data of 2025 is delivering a correction to that belief. Not a crash, a correction. A return toward the relationship between what homes cost and what the people who live there actually earn. Housing cycles don't end quietly. They leave lasting marks. And the marks being left across the Colorado Front Range right now are visible in every price reduction, every foreclosure filing, and every buyer who sat down, ran the numbers, and quietly decided to wait. Thank you for watching this in-depth report from Discover the States. If you found this analysis valuable, leave a comment with your perspective. Share this video to spread awareness. And make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss what comes next.